Hey guys, welcome back to Disco Elysium. We're gonna load up here. I think, yeah, we just finished talking to Clasia again, and we've just been going backwards and forwards between Clasia and the Hardy Boys, trying to suss out exactly what happened on the day. I was trying to break this door, but it wasn't happening. So I believe next thing we need to do is Land's End, Boardwalk and Island for bullet traces. Make Titus give up Ruby's location. Close the water lock on Wednesday. We're still on Tuesday. To get to the coast, you need to use the panel of the water lock. Alright. Who else has unauthorized access to oil and trash? Find this person and you'll know who tampered with the scene. May take a while. Okay. Anything that says may take a while, I'm assuming it's going to be like near the end of the game or something. But anyway, find the cryptozoologist. Maybe you can find him when you happen to be on the coast. You told Lena Morel he's missing because of the broken waterlock. She's still worried. Oh right, okay, yeah, that's Thingy's husband. Sing some karaoke. Get hold of a sad song on tape. Okay, we have done quite a few, haven't we? You'd expect so with how long we've been playing so far. But yeah, anyway, let's go back downstairs, speak to the Hardy Boys again, see if we can get Titus to disclose the location of the 7th, is it, Hardy Boy, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, Titus.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay, I talked to Clasia, now I need to talk to Ruby. Why? He leans back and regards you with curiosity. You know, a lot of men just living the paranormal instinct whispers a name. So where's brewing? I'm gonna level with you. She's the next link in the chain that leads me to Lily's killer. Yep. Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. F that shit. And F you too, moral. He throws a glance at Titus as the last syllable leaves his lips. Big guy sighs. Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys. That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. He crosses his arms. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could F off now? I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking. From the corner of your eye, you see a little bird flying to the bush right behind the window behind Titus's back. Logic present a solid theory about why Ruby could have done it. Let's just hit a quick save before we do that. 28% isn't great. And also, do we have anything else that improves logic? Wrong thing. There we go. Close. +1 logic. Flashes, what do they do? Have you got anything that's minus logic? Okay. May as well pop another save now we've done that, just so we don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, let's try again. We might have a bit of a better chance.
What is it?
Oh, yeah, we do have a bit of a better chance. Come on! Ah! 42% is pretty good though. We'll re-roll.
It's you again. What is it?
Reroll. Yes.
It's you again. What is it?
Ah, come on. I know this is probably not how you're supposed to play the game, but...
It's you again. What is it?
It's gonna work at some point. It's just odds.
It's you again.
Oh.
It's you again. What is it?
Double ones. I wonder if it gives you, if it like recognises that you're doing this in the game and gives you a worse chance of getting it. I wouldn't have thought so, but
it's you again.
it seems to be a lot of tries for failing at 42%. Hey, there you go. Sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostile cafeteria is lit by its eerie blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion all channeled into a single thought. Why are you so sure Ruby didn't off him? Because she was here all night with us. He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101. She was here all night? The lieutenant ignores the tattooed man. 11:30 to 12:25. She was here during all that time. Yeah, with us drinking near the stage there. He points to the karaoke stage. She didn't go to the toilet? No. That's a lie. You know that's not the case. Alright, she took her effing leak okay for one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from a lorry. He points to the intersection. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Cop. And just because she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. He taps on his temple. I've been through this. It's not plausible. He's been through it. That means he suspected her too. Alright, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. Ruby could have gotten to the roof from somewhere inside the whirling. Now the only way up there is through Class's room. Maybe there's not more. What do you mean? How do you guys know about this place? How much do you... we've only been drinking here for what, 6 years? He looks around. How much do we know? Been thinking of getting whirling in rags tattooed on my ass, boss. There you go, tattooed on his ass. We know the place. There's a locked door in the kitchen and another on the roof. Ever been through those? No, but that doesn't prove anything. It's just 2 doors. We're not giving you Ruby for that. She's one of us. What if those 2 doors are connected, Eugene? Is that your name, Eugene? The lieutenant leans closer. If they're connected, she could have gone up, gone to the kitchen, gone up, shot him on the roof, then come down, all in 5 minutes. How about that? Yes, she could have. This is one long shot. He shakes his head, but the look in his eyes shows interest. Have we firmly established Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot? Firmly, he shakes his head. Try shit and stick. All you've established is possible route to the roof that you haven't found. And even then, a route doesn't put that bullet in the merc's head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one. Phase 2, murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not, then at least a shadow of doubt in the shape of a gun. Just don't contradict yourself. if it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself. But what if you miss interesting information that way? The choice is ultimately yours, but we've already established Ruby's running drugs. She could have smuggled guns too, which is a small 28% chance that the shot came from beyond the roof. The local pawn shop sold my lost gun to a woman. Maybe it was her. Yeah, we'll go for number 1. God damn, that's just about your favourite topic, isn't it? Titus slaps his thigh. Every effing 5 seconds. All I'm saying is, from what I saw in the cabin, she'd have no trouble getting a gun. Fine, Titus, I'm not getting into it if it touches on your precious business. Yeah. Trouble? This is Revocol. Even the roidheads in the gym had a carbine. No one has trouble getting a gun. I still never saw her carrying one. You must be referencing some past case of theirs. He's angry because he knows you're right. What he's saying only confirms your theory. I didn't say I'd prove she had the murder weapon, just that we needed to find, or we need to find her. Don't like bringing the lost gun into this. Alright, copy, nod. Keep talking, I'll tell you when I've had enough. T, we're not seriously considering it, are we? He almost gets up from his seat. Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this? Phase 3 motive, the last component. It's not why did she kill him, it's why did she organise the cover-up. Maybe it's all part of a leadership challenge against you, Titus. Maybe she killed him because she thought it would curry favour with you. Yeah, it's that one. And I suppose you have a theory on that? She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus. Think about it, why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging? You went along, but she suggested it. And the little man squints, eyes beady. She had like a fully formed plan and shit, right when she came back downstairs. Really, Shanks? Class, you wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd been first. Time for a logic demonstration. Shanky, let's assume you killed him. I didn't do it, effort. It was my plan. You probably did, though. It's just a thought experiment. Think, Shanky, you killed him, you got up there, shot him, got down. Would you prefer to go on trial with your buddies as part of a lynch mob, or alone for committing murder? F you, man. I would never F my guys over like that, he screeched with indignation. She didn't either. She would never do that. The blonde man looks around. Why aren't there more of you defending her? This is effing stupid, Titus. Glenn, Titus looks grim. I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit. Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely, and she skipped town. This is good. Maybe she killed him because she thought it would curry favour with you? Yeah, let's try that. You had expressed on occasion your dislike of the mercenaries' presence in Martinez, right? Whack someone in my district that doesn't carry much favour with Titus Hardy. She has to know that. He rubs his chin and looks out the window. Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. We need to talk to her. Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. A very small nod and a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip. Yeah, I see it. He puts his beer down. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions if you want. I don't know. He smiles a peculiar smile. I don't know where she went. She just up and left. Got real scared too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Want to know why? Why? She was afraid I would tell you. He looks you straight in the eye. Maybe she was right. By now I probably would. She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behaviour. Why fleeing is always incriminatory. Perhaps. He looks out the window again. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy though. She made sure of that. When did she leave? Friday afternoon when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town when she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation. What was she scared of? I told you. You. Me as in the RCM? No, you, as in the cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes. I've come to declare the ending of the human night. She probably knew me from my singing days. Yeah, that's real funny. She wasn't laughing though. He looks at you. You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply, but he measures you up. Now I'm not so sure. What else did Ruby tell you about me? She said you had a funny taste in clothes, Scott, and that you won't stop. Won't stop? Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans. Effing hell, the tattooed man shakes his head. Titus, did he just open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did, he nods. Now we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day. How about you? He nods. Is that true, Kim? Am I a can opener? You are insistent, he nods. Anything else? Anything? Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This cop, Titus, this copy. But she was too scared. Do you have any clues on where she went? She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot. Good effing luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her. Yeah, Al, he gives a sharp look, and we won't either. She's not really the man stares into his beer hardy candidate anymore, is she? She's not, Glenn. Have you looked for her? A little, on the coast. Where have you looked for her more precisely? More precisely? On the coast, past the waterlock. He nods southwest. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there. Who's doing this looking? They're all here. You're all here. Who's out looking? He shrugs. Lizzie needed some air. The gardener, but she went to tell Everett. So she didn't go to tell Everett. No one goes to tell Everett anything. He knows what he has to know, fast. It's called a radio, you believe? The gardener may have played you again when she stormed out. She has her own plan. Can you tell me where on the coast I should be looking? Sure, there are some shithouses there. A cinder block town. The fisher folk there refuse to unionise, so that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where the junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up. We will start there, the lieutenant takes a quick note. One more question. What does Ruby look like? Boyish, hair's red, dyed. She looks like a lorryman. Do you know what she's doing with the Ulan frequencies? The what now? I've no idea. He looks around. Boys? She said she's building his voice is very quiet. A pale emitter. What? We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more. This guy barely understands what he's talking about. There you have it. Pale something. Titus puts an end to it. It's not much, but it'll do. It'll have to. He puts his hand out. Shake it. His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. So now questions about us, actually. What if... Because we can't remember much or anything about our past. And this person's fleeing because she's afraid of us. Now, why would anyone be afraid? Like, it's quite obvious that most people here wouldn't think twice about annoying a cop or someone from the RCM. But do we have a different backstory? Are we a bit more of a... maybe we're connected to... What do they call the guys higher up? Oh, I forget now. I'm just thinking there's gonna be some point where we kind of remember who we are. So there's all kinds of possibilities for whether we could end up being just a normal cop, I suppose, or we could be on one or the other side of this kind of civil war that's about to break out, or we could be part of the... Damn, what's the group called? I can't remember. The powerful group anyway, that's like the political leaders or whomsoever. Right. So we do have a level up, but I'm gonna, as ever, I'm gonna leave that until we get to a check that we're struggling with. That seems to be a good way about going about leveling up. Got a lot of stuff that we need to do then. Around on Wednesday. We do need a little bit more money before we end today though. Okay. We can check the boardwalk, I suppose, from this side, I think. Still don't have a way into the secret passage as of yet. We could do with some more bottles. In fact, I'm just going to try talking to this person again, because although hands move across the book cover, the tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work smoking. Another comrade. Years of labour are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug. Give her a hug. You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering in a straight touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands as you shut your eyes. Then a tiny voice breaks out and asks, "What is happening?" She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric feels cold, moist from the sea nearby. Stop hugging her. She steps back and returns her attention to her books, pretending the hug didn't happen. Okay. Maybe your cockatoo's missing. I don't mean to disrespect her, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here. For what it's worth, I agree, but cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point. I was asking about your cockatoo. Is it missing? I don't even have a cockatoo, and guess what? It's a trap, never say what. Alright, cockatoo not missing. I just wanted to make sure. Great, she turns her attention back to the book stand. Great, got it. Maybe your children are missing. No, absolutely not. Her words come out as quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they? Are you a policeman or a nanny? She's definitely disturbed by now. Nanny, where are they? They're not missing, sir. You know exactly where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving their ladder of vices a chance. They are at home, right? Smoking cigarettes? What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now. Maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't missing that after all. Tell me something else. Okay. So we did have a few options in regards to passing some time. I think we can either buy a book or maybe we can rest on that bench, because we want it to be past 9 o'clock so we can ask this chap, ask the smoking guy. I could really use with an extra bit of money, but the lieutenant looks down the street. We can sit on benches after we solve the murder. Let's go. You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone. Ah, okay, so we can't do that. Nobody's got anything new to say.
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Makes sense. First work, then pay. Makes sense. It sucks is what it does. That's all for now. Yeah, just go around asking everyone for money.
Looking for something, Runt? Huh? Coming to tell me to fuck off again?
Found this mug in the trash. Is it yours? Stares at the yellow man mug, then suddenly explodes. Haha, oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. I haven't seen anything that funny in a while. Is it yours? God damn, he wipes the tears from his eyes. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine. He doesn't live in Martinez. What are you hauling? Not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's sit and wait in your ass situation. What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up? Apples. Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide. Sounds like a cover story to me. Look, Ace Detective, I come from a long line of lorrymen. We got ancient rights and privileges. He loses his patience for explaining it. I'm here to pick up a load of effing apples, man. Just regular cocoa-picked apples. Cocoa or Kojko or whatever. Maybe another derogative from a person from Grand, you think? Or Grad, sorry. Oh, so they grow apples in Grad. Yep, it's one of their main exports. They grow them down south. Yakokata, a beautiful place, got great scenic vistas. In fact, Yakokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. It features no scenic vistas and supports virtually no plant or animal life. It's not in the south, and they definitely don't grow apples there. Yeah, says who? It's literally in the name, Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. The lorry driver glares at you intently, then shrugs. Then I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with these Kojkos. They're everywhere, except at their own homes. He means the people living in Grad. Yeah, you know, Gradniks, Vok, those degenerates from Grad. Okay, so it's an ethnic slur. Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, who am I to say otherwise? So can I see the apples? Did you miss the part where I said they aren't here yet? Besides, even if I did have some, I wouldn't go put my nose in them. He looks at you with a strange glint in his eyes. Relax, you've got all you can get here. He probably doesn't even know what he's hauling, even if it is something unsavoury, so he'd remain unaccountable. He said something about rights and privileges of lorrymen. Yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal licence and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges. Hold on, what's a carter? Someone with a cart. What do you think it was? That's how deep into history our thing reaches, before machines. And that's a privilege? Sure effing is. We have a guild and everything. Very ancient, very prestigious. So you're in a carter's guild? Goddamn right. They've been trying to F us out of our heritage in the name of profits, but when they try to replace us, they'll regret it. Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to F them right up the ass, mark my words. Generations of practice ain't no laughing matter. Right, I'm going. Yeah, sod you. Wonder if we can get anything else out of the shopkeep.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in? Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or? She's like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher. Can she answer the classroom question? Yes, tell me about economic reality. No, I mean physical reality. I don't know, what about it? Where are we? We're in Frit. No, I mean, where are we on a larger scale? As mankind, or as a nation, or as a mankind? In a good place? She rubs her face thinking. I mean, science is doing great, and this radio computer thing seems to be kind of big. I don't know, she shrugs, then folds a magazine back. What is the revolution? When ordinary people take over the government and demand democracy. What about the one we had here in Revacor? Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this, at history I mean. The coalition, what's that? Someone told me there is one. Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article. She taps the magazine on the counter. What time is it? I don't know, look at the clock, it's right behind you on the wall. The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hand seems to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work. I won't bother with you this nonsense anymore. Cool, she seems happy to return to her reading. Okay. I don't think I've got any bottles to sell. Maybe we should talk to Everett again. What was the check that we needed to pass for this? That we could never do? Volition. I don't think we can level up Volition again. Oh, we can. Let's do it. Pop a quick save, as per the usual. Sorry if this is against the spirit of the game, Mike, but... Wait. But I don't care, really, so there you go. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer. Look at the note. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep off his floor, and more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. Turn to the lieutenant. Look, Kim, a to-do note with a list of errands for Everart. He inspects the note. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here. The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs, booze, blood. Take another look at the note. Remember, Leo. Special whirling borscht. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, we want to, there's a box on the side here that we can, break open with a pry bar. I wonder if we can break that crate open with a pry bar. Persuade the door to open. Well, it was worth a shot. Ultra series gloves plus 1 half-life. Okay, let's get rid of the pry bar. do have a flashlight. Secret orbs in shady areas. Ooh, interesting. Is this a shady area? Oh, that's pretty cool. To be honest, I don't think we're going to get anything else out of Everett right now, but...
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes. Now, what can Everett Clare do for you today?
Nothing. Sorry, Everett. Sorry, not sorry. Why are we holding the torch in like one direction? Now we're going to say that's a bit weird. Got a nice bit of dynamic lighting. Don't go amiss. Try to think of where there's dark or shady areas. Not around here, apparently. I think we tried talking to this guy again and it was just pointless. We can try again. Ooh, box.
Last we saw, your race was being superseded by the Seminole.
The situation is serious. Your people have probably killed a man.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity. Bring your troops to the Seminole Islands and to Boogie Street, and the walls will be lined with bottles of alcohol.
Yeah, we've heard all this before.
Your beloved Bernard. Inside, we will storm the odes to homosexuality called art, and your microcephalic colors.
What are those tattoos of yours supposed to mean? Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. It just, welcome to Red Paul. You hear him yell at a red-headed woman visiting the frit nearby. He must think redheads are immigrants. I'm not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features that should dispel any doubt. True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself. The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be smaller. Your silence betrays your inferiority. You do not have a reply. You should enter a deep raised slumber. Perhaps in 4,000 years, there is need for a servile monarchy. I can't deal with this guy. Can we not? I want to see what's in the box. Let me into the box. Yeah.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
Thing is, I don't want to buy a book to pass the time if it's going to mean that we need to find more money from somewhere. Because at the moment, we don't have any money. Oh, we don't have enough money to get to the next day. And God knows what we're going to do tomorrow. There doesn't seem to be a massive amount to do at the moment. Go speak to Kuna again. We need to get him to tell us about anyone else who's got access to them, I think.
Fuck, does Kuna okay?
No, we don't seem to have any more options with him. There's still quite a few hours left before we can speak to whatever. To the smoking guy at the apartment. Maybe we didn't explore the apartments too well. Let's try that again. Okay, this is new. Someone has torn down the wall. The sea below looks cold and winter grey. Can we go through there then? Oh, is the flashlight opening this up? Or is it just walking into it? Health and money. Ooh. Oh, 20 real. I'll grocery list on the table and checks. What happened here? You can't foreclose on an apartment with a hole in the wall. This looks so sad. It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here. There's always a little something in the fridge. Indeed. Ah, is this the balcony where that woman is? Certainly looks like it. Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbour until it happened. A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water, a straight shot into Revacol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed and they had a direct firing line. Taking the ocean. The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscure the better part of the remains. Look at the ruins in the water. Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt. Who did this, the damage? A fleet, the combined armies of the Occident and Grad with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revacol. The artillery was so powerful, the ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint you can just barely see the shadow of the water far in the northeast. Cannon still ready to placate Revacol. Coalition warship Archer can shoot 50 shells a minute on 20 core-lined archers. They will reach the city in 58 seconds. Hey Kim, do you know who shelled our city? The Coalition, says the Lieutenant, but that was a long time ago. I think we should move on, it's chilly up here. Okay. Hey you.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves, but here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil. Red dyed heavy fuel oil is only used in government vehicles, or at least that's the idea. Is that government fuel oil? What did you think I was using, Aquarellus? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself, back in Jamrock. Fumes are bad for you, okay? Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage. So you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armour. What do I care about some effing tin egg shells? Isn't armour art for the body? Alright, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the villagers urge you to hold down the coast from the main plaza. She waves her hand in general westward direction. Have a good time. And there's a little girl wearing gloves down there. No, that's all the snitching Cindy Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you. She looks at you a little sad suddenly. I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again, damn it. Or a weakness for the police officers, miss. He makes a note in his notebook. Thank you either way. Catch you later. Okay, so there's this door here. Okay, this doesn't look like the nicest place in the world, does it? Some jeans. Can we use a pry bar on that? Nice. That's what we needed. Well, that was exciting. It did give us enough money to get to the next day, which is good. Nice. Right, so we can't get in. How do we get in? Okay. Look again. Who is this? Demands a female voice, wearing intense. It's the police, open up. Do I have to open the door? You hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Her tone is now getting a defensive edge. Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant. Let's go. The lieutenant says we don't have a reason to get inside that apartment. Something. I think we've got everything in here. Yeah. Okay. What was downstairs again? I forget. Oh yeah, this leads us to down here. Can I get into that greenhouse? Apparently not. It's down there, but I don't really want to go down there because that would be opening up the door that for Everett, which we don't want to do. Oh, how am I going to pass this time? Is there anywhere else I can explore on the balcony before we go to... Oh, we could talk to Kuno's friend, maybe.
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out? Get away, pig!
Oh, well, that didn't do too much, did it? Yeah, I suppose we go up to the balcony and see if there's anything else we can do before we speak to... But it's still... It's not even 7 o'clock in in-game time and we need to wait till like 9. I assume this fishing village they're talking about is over the other side of the lock, which we can't get to yet. What's this? Oh, we have a pry bar so we can get into there now. See some more money. Locked door. I think this is the apartment where 9 o'clock at the earliest, yeah. I know. Okay, I'm stumped now. got anything else to say?
Give me a moment.
Do you know who lived in the foreclosed apartment? She doesn't look very... Sorry, she doesn't look very helpful. The hell am I supposed to know? Cleaning lady shrugged her mouth, puckered like a dried fig. Another out job, I assume. Why is there a hole in the wall in the abandoned apartment? Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls. He's one of the residents on vacation. Their mailbox is overflowing. People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone. They probably just moved out, or moved or died. Hopefully somewhere else. Who lives in apartment number 10? No one lives there. It's been empty for months. But I talked to someone through the door. Impossible, the cleaning lady says, shaking her head. I wouldn't know if someone had moved in there. She pauses, eyeing the hallway. Maybe it's those counterculture people again, breaking into our house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you? Ah, so we have a reason now. Sure, I'll go and see what I can find. Great, young people, they're worse than rats, you know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans. Who lives behind the padlock door? Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. Suddenly the old lady's face is beaming. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell him to study. Astrology? Something to do with all the stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall. You mean the star and antlers? I think that's a symbol of communism. A symbol of what now? Communism. You know, like in the World Revolution. Never heard of it, the cleaning lady replies before another coughing spell takes hold of her. What can you tell me about Cindy? The artist, she scoffs. Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them, still. She leans on her broom. She leaves an old lady to her business, more than I can say for others. Sol thanks. Who are you? I'm no one, just an old woman who cleans the hallways. Do you live here? If you can call it living, she spits on the floor before wiping it off with a broom. I have a little room upstairs, right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet, but I don't complain, no. She juts out her chin, eyes shining. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company, and that's all I need from this world. She hasn't spoken to anyone in a while. Even her sentences feel rusty. Thanks, I'm off. Yeah, now we have a reason to... Oh, what's it? Postcard. Boogie Street, nice. This apartment is supposed to be empty. Did you break in here? Excuse me? Of course not. You have plenty of reason to enter. I don't need a... then open the door so I can verify your identity. Oh, come on. There's a pause before you hear the door being unlocked. Well, that was easy. That was smart, the lieutenant says, nodding towards the unlocked door. Just a pack of medicine peeks out of the box. You should take it or not. Looks like a fine mattress. Don't be ridiculous, you can hear it swarming with bugs. +1 to indirect modes of taxation. Okay. Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in as I have every right to be here. The keys, see? She jingles a set of keys in her hand. Boy, these are a lot of there are a lot of different keys there, more than 20 at least. Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too? She fumbles through her purse, fishing out a light paper-clad passport. Inspect the passport. Feels flimsy in your hand with the words Revocol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with short hair inside, along with all her personal details. Nice haircut, and back the passport. Thank you. She slips the passport back in her purse. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. What are you doing here? She sighs and looks around. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. Reprehensible. Who lived here? It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent. She stops hesitating. A sudden serious look crosses her face. This story didn't have a happy ending. But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry. Who lived in the foreclosed apartment down the hallway? Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3! We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can happen, but Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighbouring door, and now there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall, can you believe it? She spreads her hands. Then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that, she snaps her fingers. The sum must have been puny. So wait, what happened with the wall? Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both. She's still shaking her head. Manicured hands now crossed over her chest. That's all, thank you. Of course, she replies with a smile, but her eyes remain glazed over. She's been waiting for you to leave. Kind of, oh! The boat's gone. Went to the village on the coast, officer. See you there. Okay. This is... I'm assuming this is somewhere that we can't get to yet. On the other side of the... oh, we can open up this now with the pry bar. Blue naval coat. Should we have a bit of a... what have we got? Got some jeans now. +1 half light. What have we got? +1 electrochemistry. Let's try the +1 half light. What are she's doing at the moment? We don't really need +1 encyclopedia, but then but the bum hat's not exactly. We've got 1 bullet. The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. After spending an entire day hustling, who's to say that you didn't deserve a pair of ridiculously expensive shoes on your tired feet? You're right, beautiful things do make people happy. Beautiful things give you a rush. It's a power, crafting your style, draping your flesh in silk and leather, deciding how to present yourself to the world. Remember, when they come to take it away from you, you work for those shoes, whether you like it or not. Wearing these shoes has made you feel more liberal, ultra-liberal. They're either a gateway drug or a booster pack to get you deeper into free market ideology. Lol. The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Makes you look cool, calm and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something. Soft yet crinkly, take the item out. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. By the way, the raw materials were most likely exported from Saige, the apricot suzerainty, and processed in the solar cleft into the apricot-flavoured chewing gum loved by kids of today and yesterday. Something about it is familiar, and not only to your fingers. Crinkled chewing gum wrapper. The worn label reads Tutti Frutti. It smells faintly of apricots with a barely noticeable twinge of cinnamon. You feel compelled to point out that there's nothing fruity about cinnamon. It's a spice derived from tree bark. Cinnamon's not fruit. Can I use wrapper? Shrug. It seems like that's what the wrapper is doing somehow. This is not about flowers or bark. What is this about? Why are you looking at this wrapper? Why do I even care about this? Good question. There is no answer or secret phrase written on the inside of the wrapper, yet you're drawn to it. Drawn by regret. Stop before you hurt yourself with a Tutti Frutti wrapper. Throw it away, please. I'll hang on to it just in case. You carefully fold the wrapper into a square before putting it back into your pocket. Lovingly even, despite the strange feeling of regret. Interesting. White envelope. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan for in the addendum. Try to find a loophole in the deal. There is no loophole. The simple truth is that the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door. Look, Kim, point to the photocopy. These people are going to have to move away. Can we do something about it? I should have seen it. The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again. Everett probably has eyes on us, but he pauses to think. We could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Everett won't believe you got villager signatures if you can't even get to the village, he shrugs. You can try a forgery as soon as we cross the waterlock. Look at the zoning plan. The youth centre cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street, and the square between the existing houses is 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth centre. Put the documents back into the envelope. Dried mayballs. 6 crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown. Oh, we've already done that. The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the... yeah, we've played the tape already. The ledger you found in the trash. Okay. Can I read the case files now? Have I done this already? Wait, HDB41, weren't those officer precinct? Why yes, your precinct number is 41, and HDB. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it, and these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Yeah, Henry Dubois. Harry Dubois. The Next World Mural, the unsolvable case. Next World Mural. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. Case of failure rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their forms reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." People call it that thing and that effing thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the Belles Lettres have the litterage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of graffito artists is rumoured to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. Wait, do I ever find out who came up with... The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. Read on. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner JV is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organised by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rumbling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between two options. Okay. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world, for new people, and it is too late for us. All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class. In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, an agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next? The unsolvable case, aka Leslie and Burke, aka the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It's been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29th, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It's their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. And you can't lock them away, because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers, and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors, would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s is hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. Couldn't we just keep them off the streets? You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself on the streets? Proceed. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a local gang of Zemilakis to take them out. The Zemilakis gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing? Which is which? I think Leslie's the... yeah. What is Leslie doing? Public indecency. Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day, when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have confused it with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke here. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who at this point is tended to Burke. Kill them, then broke it. He came at us, and at us, I think he was trying to kill us, Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on Paul Burko's kneecaps. The good news, Burke can't walk anymore. He can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop, the unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? Oh, we're nearly at 9 o'clock. Oh, is it 9:30? But whatever. The Square Bullet Hole Murders. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape, but that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet, and then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. A sequence killer? Who knows, those pages are missing. What next? One day you may still catch the man with this square gun. The couch in an unexpected location. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside, by the motorway, you know, at an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool on it. They actually look like assholes. Insufferable dicks, young people at the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa or the couch or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to, and where they also took photos of themselves on it, and then smoked cigarettes and drank coffee, perhaps because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did, so congratulations to you. Case solved. Did I ever catch those guys? No, you didn't. You didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What's next? I can revisit this, put the case files away, put the ledger away, because it is 10:15 and we can go see Captain Mr. the guy we've been waiting to see for the whole of the day. And then... Just nodding on your wall. Why am I looking at this wall? You have no clue, it's just a wall. Okay. Okay.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
Young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette. His slender figure is backlit by the city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. Yes, the cleaning lady let us in. He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for,
Beautiful.
Yes. He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here. That's why I chose this place. He looks away, his cigarette, and glowing in the dark. Martinez is special, isn't it? Wait, suddenly you're digging things? Lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Why would I want to meet your friend? Trust me, you do. Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me. He takes another drag off his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighbouring windows have lit up but one by one. Downstairs a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush. Besides, I've got to run. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again. Run where? To the city, he gestures idly towards the distant motorways. It's a beautiful night. Only if you promise that we'll talk again, it's important. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying these words. We'll talk, the smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair. Just not tonight. Take care, alright, he says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night. And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? Who knows, detective? It's a mystery, he says, turning his face away from you. There's something different about him. I just can't put my finger on it. Different, of course. Something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves. Something so mysterious about the way he talks. Lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious. Very. He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember? He nods at the apartment door before you. Is he just laughing because we're digging him? In inverted commas. Okay, so we've got lots of green things in here. Quarterly business magazine. Exquisite canopy, bed made of metal. Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. Maybe something under the bed. Sumerian comical hat. Party dragon silk robe.
Officers of the Reversal Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finger things. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. Lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed. You actually witnessed the lynching. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. The man gives a solemn nod. He didn't see the hanging. He saw the little show staged by the Hardys. Let him talk. He may know more than even he knows. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers like a drama teacher setting the scene. The lieutenant is already scribbling down notes. What do you mean, like in a play? It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in carrying what looked like a body, and then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this. Lieutenant nods to you. That lines up with previous testimony, doesn't it? Well done, detective. Thank you, sir. I think we've got the picture. Anything else stand out? Only that there were about 8 or 10. I couldn't make out anything. It was so dark and that it was quiet, he says, smoothing his hair. Quietest lynching I ever heard of, let alone heard. But I suspect that you knew that already. I can't say I'm surprised. The fine reputation of the men and women serving the RCM is well deserved. So, what's an official like you doing in Martinez? The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. He raises an index finger. Inflation is a killer. Like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment? Ah, well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-storey skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. So what is this international community? La Communauté Internationale is what Revocolians colloquial called the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. And what do I call the coalition? What do I call the coalition? Your employer, technically speaking, the governing authority of Revocol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration. So you're some kind of bureaucrat. Bureaucrat. Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur la Clef, working for the Institute of Price Stability. He glances at his watch. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. Oh, that's the group I was trying to remember the name of before, the Moral Intern. Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not. What is the price stability? It is the most important thing. That doesn't tell me anything. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. Basically, make sure the price of bread doesn't change. Precisement, too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. This is fascinating, but I wanted to ask you about something else. But not too far below, no. Too below is bad. Below, but close to 2%. You're not answering my questions at all. The Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? Okay, sure, give me a leaflet. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainties. Stability is the raison d'etre of the Moral Intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist, sorry. He pats his pockets. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency. I've heard about this Moral Intern before, but I want to know more. It is the international organisation of the moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition. So what I'm hearing is that we're Moral Intern bitches. Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the Moral Intern. Are you a moralist? But of course. But why? Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. Lieutenant, are you a moralist? Me? You managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment. He quickly recomposes himself. I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revocol. A very moralist answer, the man nods. But what is a normal, stable world? The Occident is part of the normal world. Orange, Sur la Clef. Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me. Martinez? No, Martinez is something else. What about the rest of Revocol? Is it part of the normal world? Revocol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. He gives you an approving nod. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Democracy is a meaningless sham. It's like every time I'm talking to people I'm choosing option D. None of the above. Is that moralism? Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Yes, everything else is super extreme. Yeah. Sounds like you're a moralist indeed, my friend. Welcome. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic and level-headed, an ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are. Now enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Tell me about Sur La Clef. What's there to say? Sur La Clef is a modern urbanised country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it's a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revocol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes. Darlings? That can't be an official designation. What makes Revocol Sur La Clef's darling? Because a great percentage of Revocol's culture hails from Sur La Clef, its language, its people, its cuisine even, or at least in the downtown La Delta area. Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared for Sur La Clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Tell me about Orange. Orange is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur La Clef, Orange is probably the most prominent member of the international community. Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Orange? Orange's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services, and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. But that didn't tell you anything about Orange. I once heard from here that they are a reasonably sized superpower. Can't you just talk like a normal person? And that's one way to put it, yes. They certainly have the power to exert influence over others, but they only do it in the name of regional stability. After all, Orange is a morally interned nation, not some crazed petro-fascist state. If he knows so much about Orange, maybe he also knows about Orange's mercenaries. Enough business, let's talk about something else. What if I told you there's a fugitive? No. The man who was lynched outside your window was from Orange. Oh, that's unusual. The Oranges are not the kind of people you associate with heinous crimes. It's such an upstanding and responsible country. That's not how I would describe this guy. Well, certainly one cannot rely simply on generalizations. That would go against our commitment to individual freedoms. And of course, any loss of life is a tragedy. The man seems to observe a moment of silence. So tell me, what have you learned about the victim? His name was Lely and he was 42 years old. Ah, what a shame. A man cut down in his prime earning years. His earning potential isn't really important. What matters is that he was a mercenary. Aha, a condottiere, the man says, as though describing a character from a fantasy novel. Yes, it's hard to believe they still exist. He was a poor kid before the Orange Azy government put him in a military academy. The man nods. It's the responsibility of any good welfare state to take care of its most unfortunate citizens. They turned him into a psychopathic killing machine. They gave him a successful career. The man holds up a finger as though he's made a brilliant point. Yes, killing was his business and business was good. What else has your investigation uncovered? He liked to get... After he was discharged from the military, he joined a mercenary outfit named Krenel. That is extremely unfortunate. Yes, it's regrettable that this practice has a history in certain Occidental nations, even highly advanced members of EPIS, but rest assured, the Orangeese government has committed to producing a timetable that would lay out a path to transition to a professional army. Soon there'll be no need for mercenaries like this poor man. That's such a typical government thing to do. Committed to producing a timetable that would lay out a path to transition to a professional army. That's like a yeah, we understand that you're not happy with something and something needs to change, but we're not going to do it now, kind of a thing to do. But anyway, what kind of a timetable are we talking about here? Oh, it's hard to put an exact date on it. Yeah, no shit. I believe that the proposal for the timetable is due to be completed around 60 or 61. What? That's like a decade from now. The man nods. See? That's the kind of progress that can be made when the moral intern makes possible. As a Murky killed a lot of people on the Seminine Islands for the sake of Orangeese pharmaceutical industry. The man shakes his head solemnly. A great shame, yes. Colonialism is a dark spectre in Orange's past. Who's talking about the past? It's still going on. Which is why the work of the moral intern is so critical. It's our great bulwark against another century of bloodshed. That's all. That's who he was. As I said, the loss of any life is terrible no matter who the person may have been. I do hope you're able to bring his killer or killers to justice. We must show that the rule of law still applies, even in Revocol. I don't want to... Can you tell me about your friend? Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra and life has not been easy for him, but he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. What's Kedra? Kedra is a candidate member of EPIS, but between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? That is never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. What's this EPIS thing you keep talking about? EPIS is a very special program developed by the moral intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimetres as far as the eye could see. God, yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce. It was such a wild success that we expanded it to an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the moral intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level. Okay, but what does it stand for? Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the moral intern as a whole. Now, what do the letters stand for? It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level. You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you? A supranational political alliance, the United States of Occident. Is it going to be like this place here? You mean like Revocol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. Is Revocol going to be part of EPIS? It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure. Except that candidate members never become full members, do they? You didn't say that candidate members never became real members. No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time and evaluation. But we are talking about my friend here, not politics, he chuckles gently. How did you two even become friends? How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insular Indian Isle, oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in. What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. Still haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony, we were just talking about him. But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It's a cornerstone of our civilization. Fine, but what's his real name? Officer, you have to understand, I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes. Which arts? He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts, perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide to talented youth like him. What are you doing in his apartment by yourself? I'm just enjoying the view, the man smiles, nodding to the window. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this? We're old friends, nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active. I had something else in mind. Thanks, I've got all I need. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. Hold on, why can't we talk later? It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. He pauses, and I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well. That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night. Sure, go ahead, it's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover, perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. Yeah, sure, whatever. I knew we could trust you. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revocol. When that real democracy kicks in, we are all going to be so much happier. I really don't want to tell him that there's a fugitive of the... Right, okay. So we've got the main bulk of the conversation out of the way, so let's just save it and see what happens if we do. See if it incriminates her.
Was there anything else?
What if I told you there's a fugitive from the moral intern in Martinez? Hypothetically speaking, you might add. Hypothetically speaking. A fugitive? Well, I would say that is very bad indeed, not super. What sort of fugitive are we talking about here? Pretty serious, like corporate espionage. That is extremely serious. Corporate espionage may technically be legal in Revocol, but elsewhere it's a very high-level offence. It violates a number of international agreements, in particular the first Le Chete Accord. This fugitive must be turned over to the ICP immediately. Have you apprehended them already? A moment, if you don't mind, the Lieutenant pulls you aside. You do realise what you're doing, don't you? He whispers to you, sotto voce. I won't tell you how to do your job, but remember, this is an RCM matter. Make sure you weigh your next words carefully. When you turn back to the man is looking at you expectantly. Pin it on someone else. I mean that as a hypothetical. I don't actually know about any corporate espionage. Ah, that's right, you did say that it was all just a hypothetical scenario. Phew, for a moment there I was concerned that we had quite the situation on our hands. A bullet definitely dodged. Now that's settled, was... Well, no, you didn't tell me about... Just in case.
Was there anything else?
No. I don't want to get to like halfway through the game and then we're here and we're talking to Classy or something, and then this chap and a load of armed guards come up behind us saying, "Oh, you didn't think I actually believed you that it was a what do you call it? Oh, I can't even think. Yeah, whatever. You know where I'm going with this. I just can't think of the words. The words escape me. I've been speaking too long, and it's too early in the morning. I didn't even remember there's coffee of the day yet. That is what I shall blame this on. Okay. Hypothetical question is what I was searching for. Just took a little longer than usual. Okay, let's pay for his room, and let's go to sleep and potentially speak to Mike from 6th again. I love the, still loving the time of day changes and all the lighting and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Can I help you?
Yes, oh, it's 20 real. Okay, we did it by quite a way. That's alright then. Good, you got the room for the night, but remember you need another 20 real tomorrow. How could anyone forget an asshole? Okay. Goodbye. Lovely stuff. It's a good idea to remember that I've got case files to read if I need to pass time.
Yes?
See you in the morning. Oh, he's not going to talk to me on the balcony again. Oh, he just vanished. Okay. Should talk to the mirror again, that seems to be... Oh, what about this blue door? Maybe it was us. Maybe we killed her. We seem to have a blue door in our apartment. We can't remember anything and we got super wasted. Maybe, and we were... Yeah, maybe it was us. Yeah, we can't pass any of those. Go to sleep. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing into the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. I'm an artist and liver damage is my art.
Oh yeah, baby. Frame your suffering as a masterpiece. Only one problem. No one's watching. It's boring, buddy. Boring as death. You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts. You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Not quite as drawn out as the first sleep, but hey. Why does art inspire you so much? It does, yes, but what is art? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary and auditory and performance creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion and agency intertwined. Would I fit into the art world, I mean? Have you looked at have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic. With that beard and those clothes, dishevelled and prophetic, perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. I guess I have been feeling critical lately. Yes, you seek substance, no vapid representations and reproductions of social mores, as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop. Okay, sure. Exactly, it's not only your duty to catch the criminals of the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the Triton derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticism, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble. Should we open up another... yeah. Right, so what thoughts have we got to pick from? Art degree, date of birth generator, kingdom of conscience, socioeconomics, some kind of superstar, ace is low. Too empathy towards Kim. I have no idea what to pick. Kingdom of conscience. Ace is low, date birth, actual art degree. Let's go for Kingdom of Conscience. I don't know why, let's just do it. Okay. I think that's a good point to end for today. Yeah, we've gotten to day 3. Now there'll be more stuff we can do. Go across the water and open up that whole can of worms. So thanks for joining us, and I'll see you in the next episode. Alright, bye.